Hello traders, I trust that you're doing well. Welcome to another edition of Technicals with CapitalFx. In today's video, I'll be going through the weekly breakdown from Monday, the 7th of September, all the way to the 11th of September. So you might have noticed, starting from like the end of August, the market has really been like moving slow, moving sideways. It's because we're entering the last quarter towards the end of the year. We're in September, so we will find a lot of bank holidays like we do have today in America and also in Canada. So the markets are fairly quiet these days. A lot of sideways movement, and markets are not really moving that much. So, but we can expect movements within even the consolidation ranges from now up until the end of the year. Alright, so first on the list today, it's not really a lot of news events in the markets, just light news events which happened earlier on in the morning. So, and we had our last light news event at 10:30, and then for the duration of the day, there is no event. So Tuesday, similar to today, it's not really a lot of news announcements. And then we go into Wednesday. So Wednesday we do find a bit of news announcements around 4 p.m. and this is South African time. Looking at CAD news, and then we'll have a look at the USD CAD since there is CAD news. But more or less the whole day, starting from the early hours of the morning, we just have light news events. And then on Thursday we do have a couple of news events at 1:45 p.m. on the euro, and we also have some Canadian news at 6:30. So when we do our analysis on the euro, these new events will guide us in terms of what direction euro will be setting to take, and what potential moves that we can find on euro this week. And then we sort of have moderate news at 2:30 USD news. And then Friday, last day of the week, we also have moderate news fairly throughout the whole of the day. And then we at 2:30 we sort of had we have CAD news at 2:30, but I don't think these news events will really move the markets a lot. Like I say, we're already in September, and we're slowly getting to the end of the year, where we normally have a lot of bank holidays, and most institutions take their breaks during this course of the year. So now I'm going to jump onto the charts and have a look at what's happening currently on the charts. So first of all, guys, this is the US index. If you remember on our previous video, we were stuck in this sort of consolidation, and we were expecting a break above or below in this range. So let me just pull. So this was the current range that we had, and we were waiting for price to either, oops, let me just fix that. We're waiting for price to sort of break below, and then come retest that area for price to push all the way downwards. And then the second option that we were waiting for is for price to pull back, break above this area of consolidation, come and tap our inner trend line before price breaks and goes all the way upwards. So price is still stuck in consolidation. I think since from the 3rd of August, we're now into September, so it's just over a month. And one thing to note, in America, the US elections are happening in November, which are going to play a big role in the markets. So we could see some further consolidation around this region before price will pop up upside or price go downside. So let's just go to the weekly, see how the weekly outlook looks like. So on the weekly perspective, we still have the outer and inner trend line, and price, like I said, is stuck in that consolidation range. We had a hammer on the 17th of August that week, and then the following week we had an engulfing, and then last week we had a bullish candle, but didn't really close above that previous week, and then this is our current week. So my expectation is for price to, before price rallies upwards, sort of pull back just to come to this range before price goes upwards. But what I'm really waiting for is to price to get out of this consolidation range, bounce off of the edge of that consolidation range, which would be right at the inner trend line, for price to shoot and come upwards. So let me just go back to the daily. So on the daily time frame, we sort of have signs here to let us know that price is going upwards at this moment. So we have a 3-pin formation and also have a daily hammer, which happened on the 1st of September. So currently price is sort of in this range. So what I'm waiting for is to see what price does when we come to the inner trend line. What would be great is to see price come bounce off the inner trend line, sort of give us a pullback. But there's a big chance that price will come back here, because this level has shown a lot of strength, and then from there price can shoot all the way upwards, and then we'll be looking on taking any long trades on USD JPY pairs, and also potential longs on USD CAD. But if price fails to break below this region here, if price fails to break this trend line here and to show a bit of weakness, we could see price drop from there and go even slightly lower. So, but at the moment, we don't have nice price action, like price is stuck in a range. Alright, so second on the list, we'll look at Euro USD. So currently at the moment on Euro USD, price is stuck in this ascending channel, and this is a type of consolidation range. So we normally have this consolidation range. I think this is one that you're mostly familiar with, where price plays within a range, within a box like this. So what we have here on Euro is an example of a consolidation range, but this is a sideways one. Let me just remove that. So this is a sideways consolidation range. So basically how this one works, we just join 2 swing points above and also 2 swing points below. So, and then we just join it like that. So basically joining trend lines. Alright, so that's point 1, and then that's point 2, and then extended all the way, which was at 1.200, and then we joined from the bottom, point 1, point 2, and then extended. So the best thing now for us with this pair is to wait and see what price does within these regions, because it's a bit tricky to take trades while we're stuck in a consolidation. Like for example, we had a 3-pin formation, which happened on it completed on the 2nd of September, and then price dropped and pulled all the way back, giving us a hammer, and then on the 4th of September pushed down and closed on a hammer. So here we don't really have strong bearish movement because of these rejections, 1, 2 rejections at this point here. So what I'm expecting for Euro, since we have all of these rejections, is for price to just slightly come back, come tap that trend line for the last time, and then price rallies upwards until it breaks that consolidation range. So let me jump into the 4 hours. So based on the 4 hours, there's a potential long trade that we can take. at this region, and also given the fact that we sort of had support along this region here. We had a lot of support along that range, so we can have price sort of pull back just to come tap the trend line for the last time. If they do drop lower, I'll be expecting them to drop here, and then for me to take a long trade from where they are, and then have the target as 1.200, which is a very significant round number. So that's the first alternative. The second one, if you remember from my previous educational post that I shared, in this downtrend, this was the most recent swing low. This was the most recent swing high in this downtrend. So if you miss the entry at the top of the trend line, we'll be waiting for price to break above and to rebound on that area of support, and then we'll take our long trades from that point, and then our target will target 1.2000. And then in terms of stops, if we'll be taking this trend, if we're taking this trade, our stops will have to be adjusted because price is not currently there right now. So, but depending on what kind of stick formations they give us there, will help us and enable us to where to put our stops. So that is on the 4 hours. So let me just drop down to 2 hours. So also on the 2 hours, we sort of have some choppy price action. If I can just bring this up in, pull that up. So sort of have some choppy price action. So we have a low, then a high, and then we now have what looks like a lower high forming right here. So we can just see if we can pull up a trend line. It's be like a really minor trend line, be really steep. And so remember guys, the more steep your trend line is, the more likely price will break that trend line. So what I'm also waiting for on the 2 hours is the break of price to come tap this trend line, but I'm not really waiting for price to tap the trend line. A stronger confirmation would be for price to come break this area of consolidation and come tap at this area here, and then before we can take price going long on EURUSD. But I must say price is also in a consolidation range also on this pair. So I'm sitting back on this one waiting for price to play out. If price drops all the way low to give us that third tap, at that point I'll be waiting to take longs, and then the second entry is wait for price to break this zone, come tap that region here, the 1.8600 level, and then give us bullish signs for us to take a long trade all the way up there. Then second one on the list is Euro GBP. So we'll look at that before we look at the GBP USD. So we'll just go on the daily. So Euro GBP, so in terms of structure here, we could see price fall even lower, mainly because of this structure. So we had a big impulse move, and then similar to the Euro USD, we had a we had an ascending channel around that region here. We had an ascending channel, which was a long consolidation level, and then finally price broke out and retested that trend line, and then price rallied all the way downwards. So what I'm waiting is for price to sort of come back to that zone there before price would start to drop. Alright, and also one of the reasons why I'm expecting price to drop, because firstly we had this big impulse move, and then we had a long corrective phase, which is also known as a consolidation, and then price finally broke and retested that trend line, and price had strong bullish intent last week. So two things that I'm waiting for this pair. The first one is for price to jump into that zone if price doesn't give us any bearish signs at this region right now. And also if I can just pull up a fib. So price just tapped to 61.8. So this could be a possible trade opportunity, but also given the kind of candles that are given close to the fib level, you see, like the very aggressive candles, very big candles. So price could definitely jump up into this region here before price can drop all the way downwards. So remember, if price jumps up on the Euro GBP, it'll have a negative impact on the pound dollar. Right. So waiting for price to sort of come to that level, and then price to drop all the way downwards. So let me just go back onto the daily. So I'm going to be talking about supply and demand a lot more in the videos, but I'll definitely have a webinar where I'll explain that, which will definitely help us in our trading. Right. So this has been a level of interest for quite a while, from the 12th of August 13 all the way, and had a big rejection on the 20th. Then we came for the on the 24th, and then on the 21st. So we could have price jump up here. If not, also based on price structure, is price to give us bearish signs here, which was previously support, now becoming resistance. So I'll be waiting to see how this daily candle closes, but I'm not really going to jump into this one as yet, because the day is really quite bullish. And let's jump down to the 2 hours for me to get an entry there. Alright, so that is the Euro GBP. So this is 2 hours. Like I said in the previous analysis, I'm really waiting to see what price does here, but as it stands, price could be pushing up to come to that range, before we take a short trade, at that level there, and then have our stops nice and tight, guys. Let's go to 4 hours, have our stops nice and tight, and then in terms of our target, this will be like a really long-term target, which would be at the start of the consolidation, which is around about here, which is about 361 pips. So by this one, guys, really waiting to see what happens before I take my trade. And also given that the fact it's Monday, so just always let the market play out, wait for price to come to you, and then we'll take a trade. And then the third one on the list is GBP USD. Alright, let me go to the weekly. So on the weekly, we had a strong support. Sorry, we had a strong supply zone, which started on the 17th of May 2018, then extended it all the way. So we had price firstly attempting that region 9th of December 2019, and then we had price again coming recently last week, and price came and tapped into that zone. So in a nutshell, GBP USD has been quite bullish for most of the year, and I'm not really expecting any short trades long term quite soon, but I'm expecting more upside on this pair. And then one of the reasons why is because price has been rallying upwards. So we had a low, high, low, high, low, high, and then what seems to be happening now is price sort of building that short-term lower high before price shoots all the way upwards. And one thing to note, guys, is to wait for the most recent swing low to be broken for this pair to take on downside momentum. Alright, so let me just jump onto the daily. So on the daily time frame, this would be our most recent swing low on the daily. So for us to be confident to take a short trade, we would need to see price break this region, come and retest it below, and then price will drop. So my views on this one is to see what price does at this level, but I'm thinking price at this level, it's a bit of a tricky one because of this reason. Let's go to H4. Because of this region here. The previous price structure. So we had previous price structure, support becoming resistance becoming support. So two things can happen where price could drop to come into this zone for us to take a long trade. Obviously provided that they close bullish at that region. But in terms of us going short on this pair, it would mean two things, guys. It would mean for price to pull back. Remember, this was the region on the daily time frame. It's for price to pull back and sort of come within this region to close bearish for us to take price short at that level, and then we can have price going downwards. And also remember, based off of our Euro-GBP analysis, we are expecting the Euro-GBP to be dropping. So if the GBP is dropping, it'll have an inverse impact on the pound dollar. Hence, us looking for long trades will hold much more water as we would short trades. But obviously, you can't really know fully where price is going to go because markets can change anytime. So, but based off our analysis, we're definitely expecting a lot of bullish momentum on the pound dollar. So let's see if we can jump on to the 2 hours for possible entry. So what we have here is put up our trend lines. So that is our trend line. Let's put up on here. So it's 1, 2, almost at the top of the trend line. So here I'm really waiting to see what price does. But if we're expecting to go long, what you should wait for also, remember guys, in this downtrend, this is the most recent swing high on the downtrend. So the best place to wait for our trade is for price to break above that region and for us to take our long trade at that region going upwards. That's the first entry. Then a second entry is to take price close to where it is, so waiting to get like a slight pullback before taking a long trade at that region. So a slight pullback would be more visible on H1. And currently you have a 1, 2, 3 pin formation. So this candle is closing in a few seconds. So what we can wait for is for price to pull back at that region before taking a long trade. Or price to sort of come back within that zone before taking a long trade on this pair. And then lastly guys, we'll be looking at gold. So gold, guys, has been moving a lot this year. It's been moving quite a lot this year. So on gold, like our previous analysis, we're expecting gold to sort of come back to that region. The price of gold almost came there. It was just a couple hundred pips off, and then price pulled back, and price now has found itself more or less at that region of support. Let me just go to the daily. So in terms of daily, guys, can see we just have like a lot of spikes in one direction. Spikes, massive spike there on the 21st of August. Another long spike, 25th, 26th, long spike, 27, long spikes. Then 4th of September, long spikes. So all of this, guys, all these spikes here, that's called stop hunting. Basically, it's people who had sell pending orders and people who had stop losses within that region were definitely were definitely taken out. And it also tells us that there's a weakness in selling power and there's more buying power in the market. So what we can expect on gold, since like there's a lot of rejection here, is to expect a lot of upside movement. So currently this daily candle is still forming, so I want to say how it closes, but if it can close as a 3-pin formation for us, we could see price of gold jump up into that $2,000 per ounce of gold and even go higher. So 4 hours, like I said, guys, we're trapped in an area of consolidation. This consolidation tool, guys, comes in very handy. Using the rectangular tool, just mark out an area of consolidation. Comes up in really handy, guys. It's a really handy tool. Consolidation. So like as I've previously explained, when it comes to consolidations, what we want to wait for is big breakouts and then retests before we take any single trade. So what I'm expecting on gold is for price to break above this region, retest it along that level, before going long on gold, having our target at that region that we had marked out. So that's the first entry. Second entry that we can take is for us to drop down. So remember, guys, if you want to take entries really close, taking snapper entries, is to always just drop down to lower time frames, 1 hour 30 minutes, for you to get that sniper entry. Like for example, we have a lot of rejection at that level here. The good thing about taking trades at these regions, it affords you to use like a really tight stop loss. And then price pushing upwards. So another important factor to consider, that this area here was our recent swing high in this downtrend, which also falls within the consolidation region. So it'd be a really great area to see price break above, rebound here, and price goes upwards. And then the second entry would be taken around these regions of $1,930 per ounce, having our stops just slightly below our previous low, before price can shoot upwards on gold. Alright, guys, I hope you guys have a great trading week. I will update the group for any potential trades, but the purpose of this group, guys, is to help you navigate on your charts and to be able to analyze your charts and break down price action to take those good snapper entries. Thank you so much, guys.